when I think of people in person-centered thinking, there's so many stories I could tell you, but one of the young ladies that you interviewed actually is she's come from a really far path and journey. Some of our guys haven't had as many challenges as her, but that doesn't make their journey any less important. But because of her, when I think person-centered and I have her speak to many people about it, is because there was a point in Tiana's life where she was at she was on the end. It was like, if this particular spot doesn't work for you, if these services don't work for you, we're really at a loss as to what will work for you. Tiana was considered a pretty aggressive and what people like to call non-compliant individual, which I prefer to call non-compliant individuals people that are still trying to be heard, because often they're not compliant because they're not being listened to. And so she put us through our challenges, but we stuck by her and we continued to listen to what it was that was important to her. And a lot of it was just being accepted for who she was, being listened to, standing by her, because people in her life had said many times, we'll stand by you, but when she made life difficult, when she wasn't being heard and she didn't have the skills to express herself otherwise, people would leave. And so she came in with that concept that I'll make life miserable for you because you're going to leave anyway, so you might as well leave now. When she realized we really were committed to listening to what was really important to her, she went from an extremely structured group home setting for adolescents to the wonderful young lady you guys saw in that video, where she now has her own life. She works with children. She's planning on getting married in the future. She lives with her boyfriend. She's making awesome choices, not always the best, but neither do the rest of us. But she also thinks things through more so now than most people. She has plans to have children in the future, and she's planning for that rather than just letting it happen to her, because she's learned new skills, and she believes the people behind her are supporting her now to be the person she wants to be, rather than the person we think she should be. You know, we always plan, and I always found myself in these services planning out services for people instead of letting people plan out services for themselves. When Tiana came to live with us about 6 years ago, the idea was then that if this extremely structured one-on-one group home didn't work for her, the next step was going to be institutional setting. When we met Tiana for the first time, one of the first stories that we were told is that prior to her coming to live with us, is that she had actually gotten on the top of the conference table at her school, run across the table and beat up, I believe, the principal at that time. So we also had a story from one of our staff who had known her at a crisis home and said, it was in male, and he said, I met her a long time ago, and so first time anybody's ever cold-cocked me in the face and almost broke my nose. So that was our introduction to Tiana, and Tiana now lives independently on her own and doing extremely well, has maybe 6 hours of staff support per week, just to help with budgeting and some of the day-to-day things. But other than that, she controls her own life and makes her own decisions and is making some very good choices for herself.